everybody, ABC 10 meteorologist Brendan Minchef with a extended forecast here because we've got a pretty good late season winter storm on the way. Yeah, it's spring. I'm calling it a winter storm because we're talking about some winter weather. And again, this is going to be pretty good for this time of year. Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, Wednesday is going to be kind of some split impacts here. Less impacts in the valley on Wednesday, but we're going to continue to see snow in the high country Wednesday. Nonetheless, active weather, valley rain and thunder on Tuesday. Sierra snow really picks up Tuesday morning, continues through Wednesday. Be ready for this weather. This is not something you can just kind of glance at and be done with. You can't just look at the phone in the morning and say, I know what the weather is. I'm tuning out. You got to stay tuned with the weather all day, especially on Tuesday. Wet roads, localized flooding even. There's a chance for some flash flooding in the valley on Tuesday. And of course, for the high country, we're talking about chain controls. Those will definitely be needed. We could see a couple feet of snow, if not even a little bit more than that, on the very high passes. I'm recording this at about 7 p.m. on Monday. But I want to show you what the radar looks like when I'm recording this. This is from 6 hours, so from about lunchtime on Monday to 7 p.m. on Monday. Look how slow this line of rain is moving in. This is why we are going to have some flash flooding concerns through the overnight period Monday, Tuesday, and then off and on Tuesday, because we're going to get so much rain. It's going to be very slow moving, so that rain's just going to be able to pile up, and then we're going to have the chance for some thunderstorms, which could bring even more rain to certain areas. So again, the really slowness of this system, I'd say the speed, but it's kind of the lack thereof. How slow this system is moving in is why we are going to have some minor concerns for flash flooding. I'm not talking about widespread flash flooding, nothing like that. But could we see some ponding on roads? Yeah, absolutely. Some parking lots, urban flooding, you know the drill. That's the kind of flash flooding that I am talking about. So overnight, Monday to Tuesday. Tuesday morning, starting off, plenty of rain. 53 Sacramento, 52 Stockton, 57 Modesto, 30s up in the high country. And Tuesday afternoon, we'll continue to see some active weather. Thunderstorms in the valley, snow up in the high country, and temperatures way below normal. Normal is 74. We're going to be near 60 on Tuesday afternoon. So scattered thunderstorm potential really at all elevations of the coastal range into the valley and then through the Sierra foothills. Not so much up near Tahoe because this is going to be more of a winter impact up there. But for the rest of the valley through the Bay Area, the coastal range, and down through the Mother Lode, yeah, we're talking about thunderstorm potential on Tuesday. For winter weather, we've got a winter storm warning. Begins 2 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, continues through 5 a.m. on Wednesday. 12 to 24 inches of snow expected above 5,000 feet. Obviously, the higher up you go, the more snow we're going to see. Winter weather advisory for Tahoe and down the eastern slope, 5 a.m. Tuesday to 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Roughly 4 to 12 inches above 6,500 feet, but the higher passes, the higher peaks, definitely going to see more snow than just that. So again, pretty good. 1 to 2 feet essentially of snow expected for late April. It's too late to really build snowpack because of just how warm it is when we don't have storms, right? We're in the 60s and 70s in the high country. And then the sun angle plays a big factor this time of year as well. In the winter, it's a lot lower. It's less harsh on the snow. But this time of year, that sun angle is getting higher and higher, more direct on the snow. It melts it faster. It's a lot harsher on the snow. So too late to really build snowpack, but beneficial nonetheless because it helps to kick fire season down the road. This is 9 p.m. on Monday. So again, by the time you're watching this, this is probably about when this video is going to be uploaded. But the point is, look how slow this rain is moving across the valley. It's 1 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. We still see some heavy rain, even some orange there indicating that more moderate to heavy rainfall down through the San Joaquin Valley. This is 4 o'clock in the morning. We still see plenty of rain in the valley. Some of that heavier rain starting to move into the low elevations of the Sierra, and we're also seeing more snow picking up as we go towards sunrise on Tuesday. So now 9 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, plenty of snow across the high country, but we also are going to start to be watching for some thunderstorm development. So this is out along the coast, 9 o'clock in the morning. You're off to the Bay Area for work. You could see some pockets of heavier rain and even a thunderstorm or two. Not necessarily severe, but nonetheless, some heavier rain, gusty winds, maybe even some small hail, all possible with this storm. This is now 11 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. Snow continues in the high country. Now we're seeing those pop-up showers and thunderstorms in the valley. This continues through the afternoon, 2 p.m. Still see some of that heavier rain now down through the Mother Lode, some thunderstorms, snow continues in the high country, and there's more rain. Off and on rain through tomorrow, more wet than dry. It's not all going to be thunderstorms, but there's definitely thunderstorm potential. 5 p.m., now 7 p.m. We still see rain, still see some thunderstorm potential, but as we look off to the west, this is kind of the end of it here. We don't see any more moving on shore. Even the coast will start to clear out. Snow continues in the high country Tuesday and Wednesday. One last little push of moisture coming in towards the Wednesday morning commute. This is 4 o'clock in the morning. You're one of the super commuters. You're off to the Bay Area between 4 and 5 in the morning. You're going to run into this. Otherwise, it's just going to be some lighter rain moving through the valley and delta by the time we get to the morning commute hours, and then that's pretty much it. So the heavy stuff really ends by Tuesday evening. Then that one last push of moisture that we just saw comes through, and especially for Sacramento and areas to the south, it is going to be a wetter morning commute. If you're north of Sacramento on Wednesday morning, it's not going to be as bad. This is noon on Wednesday. We still see some snow continuing in the high country, mainly south of Tahoe at this point, but definitely still some snow showers up there. But the valley is going to be mainly dry for Wednesday. Maybe a pop-up shower, one that may try to ride down the coastal range and push into the valley. But otherwise, I mean, you can see here, Wednesday, 5 p.m., we are pretty much dry at the low elevations. Let's talk about the rainfall totals here, because like I said, it's such a slow-moving system, this initial push of moisture, that we're going to get a lot of rain in a pretty short amount of time. So this is lunchtime on Tuesday, noon on Tuesday. Look at these rainfall totals, 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain across the valley. Now notably, snow's a little slower to get going, but once it does on Tuesday, it could be coming down at 1 inch or 2 inches per hour on Tuesday. So some very heavy snowfall rates, but it is going to take a second to get going. So a lot of rain at first, but once that heavier rain turns to snow in the high country, then we get some of that heavier snow moving in. Storm total rainfall between 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain in the valley. This might be a little bit on the high end, but generally this is not out of line with the other models. The other models maybe 1.25 inches to 1.75 inches, but again, in this short amount of time, because most of this rain is going to fall before we get to Wednesday morning, that's a pretty good amount of rain in a short amount of time, and that's why we're talking about the flood potential, right? Snow in the high country. At lake level, not a lot, 1 inch to maybe 3 inches, but as you work your way up in elevation above about 6,500 feet, that's where you're going to see that heavier snowfall. Before we talk more about the snow, here's that flash flood potential for Tuesday. There's a level 1 marginal risk for some flash flooding. That means everywhere in green has about a 5% chance of seeing some flash flooding. We're not talking about devastating flash floods here. What we're talking about is the ponding on roadways, the urban flooding, the small stream flooding. That's what we could see tomorrow because of that heavy rain through the overnight and early in the morning. So just keep that in mind. This is why I say you can't just check the forecast on your phone. You really got to stay tuned all day long. And a source, of course, the ABC 10 app. You can download that and get the very latest weather conditions there. Here's a look at model snowfall across Interstate 80 for the duration of the storm. Not low elevation snow. We're not looking at that. Above 5,000 feet, that's when we're going to start to see some snow. 4 inches at Alta, 10 inches Blue Canyon, 20 inches at King Vale, and a foot up at Donner. So really, that 1 to 2 foot range is what we are expecting with this snowfall. Truckee, again, once you start to go onto the eastern side of the Sierra, that eastern crest, and then as you work your way towards lake level, it's less snow. But certainly the high passes, going to see quite a bit of snow for this point in the year. So I would recommend not traveling through the high country on Tuesday. You're going to need chains, and there's a chance that we could see some traffic holds due to spin outs. So keep that in mind. That's about it for the forecast, but I do want to show you how unusual this rainy season has been. All these light blue bars, this is average rainfall through the rainy season, starting in October, and we've got April here, right? Average rainfall. October averages less than 1 inch of rain. November, about 1.5 inches. And then our core rainy months here, December, January, February, and even March. This is where we expect to get the majority of our rain. This is where we really build our water year, is in our core rainy months, really those winter months, December, January, February, and March. April, not too bad, about 1.25 inches there. Here's what we've actually seen through the rainy season, and of course, we're going to add more to this number for April. October, almost 2 inches of rain. That's 1 inch above normal. November, remember, we average about 1.5 inches, saw over 3 inches of rain. Then December, January, February, and especially March, underperformed. It was okay through the winter months, December, January, February, but March, all that rain that fell was on the very last day of the month. If we did not see rain on March 31st, we'd have had no rain at all in March. We were talking about this being potentially a historically dry month, and it certainly was one of the drier Marches on record, but it was not the driest March on record. And then April, we're already above normal for rainfall in April, and we're talking about another 1 to 2 inches of rain in the valley this month. So we're just going to continue to add to our water year. We are currently 2.68 inches below normal on the water year. You can see above normal, though, for the month of April. If we end up getting 2 inches of rain, we're going to be very, very close to where we should be for the water year. So even though our core winter months underperformed, even though we didn't see 3 inches of rain in December, January, or February, because our transition months, October and November and April, have been so wet, we're actually not that far off of what would be a normal water year. The only thing that's not normal about it is when we saw the majority of that rain. Right? Over the next 10 days here in the valley, weather impact alert through the first half of Wednesday, because we will see some rain for the morning commute by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon. Outside of a very light shower, we're done with the rain in the valley. Of course, thunderstorms on Tuesday, then a much quieter end to the week here. Pretty seasonal temperatures in the low to middle 70s. That even continues into next week. We do start to see a warming trend developing as we go towards the end of the 10-day forecast period here, but that's 10 days away. The immediate forecast, thunder, snow, and rain, and then drier and quieter as we go through the weekend. So remember to stay plugged into the weather, especially on Tuesday, because we do have that thunderstorm potential. One of the ways you can do that, the ABC 10 app on your phone. It's a great way to get alerts, and of course you can watch extended forecasts. But if you're at home, maybe on your smart TV, your Apple TV, Fire TV, whatever it may be, ABC 10 streaming app. That's free. You can, it's live, it's local, it's always on. You can turn us on at any time of the day. We've got a weather playlist there, extended weather forecasts just like this one. We've got some weather explainers up there, and we've got several weather and climate specials if you're looking for a little bit beyond the forecast. So remember, active weather day coming in on Tuesday, lingering into Wednesday morning, then quieter for the end of the week. Stay plugged in and stay safe out there. Thanks for watching.